We have Barbara Crown back, and we have to see Barbara because she has so much information for us. Hello, Barbara. How are you?
Hi, James. I'm well, and you?
Okay. Now, you know I was just kidding when I said released, right? Okay, it was just a joke. Nobody believed it. It was just a joke. I'm just trying to have a little fun. But, gee, you were down there for how long?
2 weeks.
2 weeks? My God, it felt like 4. Everybody kept asking me, where's Barbara? Where's Barbara? You know, we were beginning to think that you had been kidnapped down there. It did seem like it was longer than that. Now, you went down there on the invitation, and I understand that you actually spoke at the conference. Isn't that what you told me?
Yes, I did.
Okay, tell me about your presentation.
Well, this was a symposium that was hosted by the World Forum on the Future of Sports Shooting Activities. And I've been working with this organization on a task force to address the problems that traveling hunters and other shooting sportsmen face when they're traveling with their firearms. And they invited me to come to this symposium. This symposium was on the economic and ecological benefits of hunting. And basically they had 60 representatives from 20 countries. 26 presentations were made on how hunting benefits conservation programs and the economic developments of communities all around the world. I spoke specifically on the threats to those benefits. My presentation, you can read it. I've posted it on the Hunting Report website at www.huntingreport.com. It's in the email bulletin section on the far left-hand column. Just scroll down where it says Hunting Report editor spoke at a symposium or an international conference. And one of the things that I addressed is the problems that sport hunters have traveling with their firearms, problems with airlines, problems with local governments, local agencies like TSA confiscating 50 caliber firearm ammunition here a couple of years ago when they were misreading the rules, basically. Problems with transiting through countries like through the Netherlands, transiting through the UK, these kinds of issues. And the task force that I'm on involves members of numerous shooting and hunting organizations from all around the world. And what we're trying to do is get a continuity of policies from one airline to another and increase the profile of traveling hunters, get airlines and governments to understand that hunters are a great contributor to conservation. The programs that depend on us as traveling hunters will shrivel and die if we can't travel with our firearms. And these are programs that have brought back animals from the brink of extinction. Animals, for instance, in Pakistan, they have an excellent program there where markhor have recovered, and they're lifting the local communities where these markhor live, they're lifting them out of poverty just through these programs. Those programs would go away if not for traveling hunters. So these kinds of policies, the way I see it, the way I read the complaints and the comments from my subscribers, this is a real threat to international hunting. We're able to survive all the other threats. We can meet the threats of diminishing habitat. We can meet the threats of the antis. But if hunters stop traveling, they stop digging into their pockets to spend money on going hunting abroad, that is a big, big danger to international hunting programs that depend on us for conservation funds. You can read my entire speech on my website, and this is one of the task force that this group is putting together, and we're working on these programs. We're going to interface with IATA, for instance, the International Air Transportation Association that airlines belong to, and all the airlines look to IATA for guidelines on these kinds of things. So
you know why I think this is important also, Barbara, is because I can see the other side of this argument, and they're going, hey, it's a gun, okay? They have a gun here, they have a gun there. You know, it's not like an umbrella. When I go hunting, I want my gun. I don't want someone else's gun. And I can see why some of the resistance might be, well, a gun's a gun's a gun. So education, which you are doing, is extremely important here. I think the conference itself was invaluable. I mean, I'm looking at the press release here, and it says that there were 26 presentations. You must have been there for days. How long was the conference?
It was a 3-day conference, and there were some fascinating papers presented. A couple of the papers were on attitudes about hunting by the general public. If you believe the general media, most people hate hunting. And what these researchers have found, that's not true. Most people are actually supportive of hunting, but there are certain forms of hunting that they don't understand, that they might be turned off by. But overall, they're supportive. There's some great information that came out at this conference that I think they're going to make available for distribution to the media, and I hope to get my hands on some of those actual studies and put them on my website so that you all can go to them and see the numbers. It's amazing the positive support that we do have as hunters, and we need to lock into that and find a way to use that positively when we're talking to people.
Right, and I think that
as people think.
Right, that support is actually directly linked and can be proven in dollars and cents.
Yes.
And I'm sure that some of those facts came out during that conference, and I do hope that we can probably see some of those stats and maybe in a coming show. But I know we can go to your website and they'll probably come up within the next few days.
Yeah, some of those stats show that the revenues created by hunters is more than the revenues created by some Midwestern states.
Oh, that's amazing. States?
Yeah.
Okay, well that's huge. Now let me ask you a quick question. Was John Jackson there?
Yes, he was. As a matter of fact, he's the chairman of the task force that I'm serving on. And John spoke about some of the problems that we're having with conservation programs due to policies and issues, for instance, with U.S. Fish and Wildlife, where they go beyond the regulations and requirements of CITES, and instead of facilitating the legal traffic of wildlife, they are hampering legal traffic of wildlife, and in the process, they are scuttling very important conservation programs around the world.
Okay. Well, I know you made a little side trip, and I know I'm going to ask you about that in just a minute, but give me your overall feeling of the conference. I mean, I know it's a great deal to go from Miami out to Namibia. You've got hotels, you've got airfares, you've got days, you've got weeks, maybe months. I don't know. It seemed like it was months you were gone, but anyway, there's a lot of travel time and there's a lot of pressure because you are actually making a presentation there.